I hope you all have sweaters. I've never felt it drop so fast in my life. My name's Michelle Mayhew, by the way. I'm the Executive Director and COO of TIFF. But today I'm here in my capacity as the proud programmer of Irish and Dutch cinema here at the festival. And today, of course, is an Irish film. In case you're wondering, you're in the right house. Welcome to the world premiere of Carmel Winters' Float Like a Butterfly. To begin, we would like to acknowledge that tonight's event, is this still on? Okay, is taking place on the treaty territory of the Mississaugas of New Credit and the traditional territory of the Haudenosaunee, Anishinaabe, and the Huron-Wendat. We are grateful to have the opportunity to work in this community every day. I want to remind you that the film is eligible for the Grolsch People's Choice Award. You can vote for your favorite films at tiff.net/vote, so please vote often. A big thank you to West End Films for providing us with the film today, and a huge thanks to Screen Ireland for all their support of me and our organization every year. Thank you, James and Teresa. So pretty excited to be presenting a lot of films by women this year. Yes. This is one of them. Float Like a Butterfly is written and directed by Carmel Winters and features an incredibly rousing performance by newcomer Hazel Dupe, who plays... And you look beautiful, by the way, Hazel. I just want to say, you look absolutely beautiful today. She plays the pugilistically inclined teenager Frances, the heroine of our story. It's set in the 60s. It's maybe in a community that many of us are not all that familiar with, but how Carmel handles this story and makes it come to life and makes you feel like you're in the center of this unbelievably beloved community is just pure magic. I know she'll be here afterwards as well for a Q&A, just to remind you. But to introduce the film, please welcome Carmel Winters.
Thank you to this wonderful, big-hearted woman for bringing our film here today. There are two parts of the filmmaking process that I absolutely adore. They're my favorite pieces. The first is handing it over to the actors, handing what was my story over to them to become their story, and then handing it over to you, the audience, to become your story. So thank you for taking this story from us and making it your story. And it's incredibly moving for me to be here in Toronto. I would just let you know that because Michelle invited us here, because TIFF brought us here, I became a married woman yesterday here. I married the production designer of the film, Tama McCullum, who's also here. Here's to opening our hearts. Enjoy the film, and I can't wait to hear how you respond afterwards. Thank you, Michelle.
Yes. A little bit more, right? Let's bring back up to the stage the filmmaker Carmel Winters. I wonder if there's anyone else you'd like to bring up.
Well, I am so honoured to be here with the team behind this film. Hazel Dupe, who played Frances. She's going to come on up. Hazel. Dara Devaney, who played her father, Michael. Tama McCullum, our production designer. Michael Lavelle, our director of photography. And Martina Nyland, our producer. Thank you, everyone, for being the first to share our Float Like a Butterfly. It's yours now.
So we have a little bit of time for a Q&A. I've got a couple of questions I'm going to start with. While I'm doing that, please think of yours, and I'll come to you, the audience, in a couple of minutes. Just raise your hand, and if the people at the back can't hear, I will repeat the question so that everyone can hear. I've had the pleasure, and Michelle, who introduced the film, the two of us had the pleasure of spending a lot of time in the last couple of days with Carmel and Toma in particular, and Michael as well. The others just arrived yesterday. And we've talked about stories. The stories have come up a lot, and us telling our own stories and listening to stories and giving our stories to other people. Carmel, just tell us a little bit about this story and how this story came to be for you.
In Ireland, we have an incredible nomadic people, and I have never seen the bravery of those women and those girls ever acknowledged and celebrated, and I wanted to do it. That's it.
And family plays a lot in the film, not only in the film, but also, I understand, in the making of the film. The film is made by your home. It's made with people from the town and the village near where you guys are. Talk a little bit about that and where family plays a part, not just in the film itself, but in the making of.
I'm one of 12 children, and my upbringing is not that far from what you see up there. I mean, we did live in a caravan for a while. There were horses, there were dogs. There was some violence, there was great courage, there was great tenacity, there was generosity, there was bitter hurt, injury, there was just everything that's in a human life amplified. And I wanted to I feel that there's an incredible magic that happens when you bring people who don't usually work together. Where I live, it's filmed all around where I live, so I basically put all my favourite places up on the screen. That local graveyard is where I bring down my breakfast in the morning, walk the dogs, do my phone calls, I must admit. So it's really dear to my heart. Very dear to my heart, and I knew we couldn't make this film without tremendous support on every level. All the people, some of the people who supported us in the financing this film are here, but on a spirit level, a heart level, soul level, I knew we needed every bit of goodwill we could get, and at all levels of the film there were lots of families involved. I have family members in it as well because of all the horses and dogs and that. My partner, my now wife as of yesterday, designed the film. I knew the main thing with this film was that you needed to have heart. And I said, okay, well, then I'll go to where the heart of the community is and let them help us. And they did. And it was an amazing process. The healing that went on in the making this film in Ireland between settled and traveller people was extraordinary. I can say that. For traveller people who worked on the film to feel themselves loved, not accepted, loved and celebrated. I'm so proud. I am so proud. And these people made it happen, this team. And thank you, TIFF.
Hazel and Dara, you guys were fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Yeah? Maybe if you could share a little bit with us about working with Carmel and just the whole process for you guys, and I assume the fun you had.
Can I preface with just saying they have seen it for the first time today with you. They never saw a rough cut.
Okay. I think working with Carmel was possibly one of the best experiences of my entire life. She is an incredible woman, and I wouldn't have wanted to spend those 6 weeks with anybody else or any other team. She worked in a really organic, just natural way, and like her biggest priority were the actors and the people who were constantly driving the film, as she said, like in terms of like soul and just like getting people to give themselves to the film. She found an amazing way of just like getting the best out of people, and I don't know how she does it, but she manages to every single time.
Yeah, I'd second that completely. I love this woman absolutely, and she showed so much faith in me. When somebody who has worked so long in the planning of a film and the amount of investment of time and effort and love that's in it, and when somebody then show faith in you to carry that, it's just unbelievable, and it was kind of life changing for me. And she's just great. There was a storm the night before we started filming. I sent a text to Carmel, and I was more worried about the production than, myself or anything like that. I was just going, oh, she must be worried now. And Carmel sent me a text back, and she goes, yeah, Mother Nature's shown us who's really boss now, And she's just laughing it off. And I think she just went into it like that, just very brave and doesn't sweat the small stuff. There was a storm right after we've wrapped, the day afterwards as well. And any day that rained in between, it was suited the scene. So the gods were smiling on us, and there was a lot of healing going on for me personally as well during the film, as well as what Carol talked about. Thank you.
Do we have, yeah. The gentleman at the back there in the red baseball hat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it has to do with the boxing culture within that community. So I'm just wondering if you might have seen it, or I'm just wondering why boxing.
Because really the boxing is the metaphor. It's a struggle. This is a girl's struggle. And she's not just struggling against, great abstract things in the world. She's struggling to give the best of herself to those she loves. And she has to fight them to fight for them. So the boxing is kind of like, as we know, Muhammad Ali was not just about boxing. What he ultimately was a champion of the underdog. That's why, really, she's never had a boxing lesson. So in a way, really, it's that I think when you're teenage in particular, you're often really in touch with what's fair and what's not fair. I think teenagers are written off way too quick by our culture. I think teenagers are potent and clear-eyed and really capable of doing wondrous things. And then this was like, she's going to be the tribal leader, but she's got to fight for it. She's got to fight hard. And so the boxing is the metaphor rather than the movie. It was really, it's great you asked me that, because I did see Knuckle. I can't stand watching people box. I love Katie Taylor, but when the documentary just made, when their helmets are off and they're hurting each other, I can't watch it. And I felt really bad, and I had a guilty feeling that I was making a film where a girl wanted to be like Muhammad Ali. And I went, I hate people. I hate watching people hurt each other. And then I heard that during the making of Raging Bull, that actually the director hated boxing and did not consider it a sport. And I went, okay, maybe I do have a right to make this movie still, But I think Granny's statement in that fight, enough, and she makes a case for not fighting. There's also wisdom in that.
Brilliant. The lady in the middle there.
Hi, congratulations, the whole crew. I've enjoyed this movie very, very much. I'm very touched with it, so thank you. And I just wanted to have, there's one idea that came to me as I was watching the film, and it's what were the main touch points of the story that you decided that perhaps should they go one way or should they go the other way?
That's a huge question. What happened for 5 years? Yeah, it's the question. It's exactly what you spend all your time coming up to right through to the edit. At every moment you're going, and it was a really full bristling, this thing is straining at the seams, because every one of that family has a story. And it was a constant conversation with the editor. What should remain, first cut was 2 hours and 10 minutes, but when people watched it, they thought it was 90 minutes. But we knew we needed to bring that down. So we were trying to take it down a bit, and there were lots and lots and lots of different. Really, I could write a 12-hour drama series easily with the same material, and sometimes you had to kind of like amputate your fingers and toes, But I suppose I wanted to stay true to, what's it like to be a girl who loves her family deeply, but within her family is something that hurts her deeply. So I kept just being faithful to that true line.
Good. The gentleman over here.
Great man.
Can you stand up quickly and just show everyone the back? At the back?
See, I didn't edit. The character of Frances came to me fully formed, and she loved Muhammad Ali. She mightn't be able to tell you in words why, but her spirit connects with his spirit. Her struggle as a people connects with his struggle. She sees the future in him. I still think I prayed to Muhammad Ali during the making of this film. I did. I was just like, I'm not even very Catholic at all. In fact, not at all. But I did. I really was like, if we have Mother Nature on our side and Muhammad Ali, we'll be okay.
Over here, this person here. Can everyone hear the question at the back?
About the choreography of the boxing scenes and how we did it. I'd like to start that and then hand it over to Hazel. Is that okay? The one thing, I spoke to a few different editors, and the big thing they said always is, very often when the fight director takes control of the fight scenes, you don't have life in them. And I'd seen that myself with a theatre production that I'd done. I was like going, we need to make sure the fight has got the soul, the heart, the feeling. And so we did. We did. Hazel had a session. It was a workshop. It was a casting workshop. It was not a boxing session. She had a session with the former world middleweight champion, Andy Lee. And I'll never forget that day, Hazel. You went into that room and you were an outstanding actor. You were not a fighter. When you squared up to the world middleweight champion, I am not telling you a word of a lie, she became a champion. He looked at her, he looked to me and he said, she could be a world champion fighter because she has it here. And he recognized a kindred spirit in her. She became a fighter. And after that, just to kind of answer your question maybe a bit more directly about choreography, we got our stuntman in, did a small bit of like the do's and don'ts. I said to him, what I want from you is you to teach the actors the basic do's and don'ts. I want them after a couple of hours to be completely free to own this fight. Not following now A, now B, now C. Michael, you were fabulous. As a DP, Michael was like, hey, just watch this. And we'd sit down, watch fights, go like, oh, that's where the camera needs to be. But basically in that workshop, within a couple of hours, Hazel and Jamie, the actor who plays the sergeant's son, they had all their tools ready. So they weren't going to hurt each other, but they were free to fight. And honestly, that day, we had the most shocking weather conditions you can possibly imagine. There were people wrapped in tinfoil. Yeah, you know, the paramedics saying, we've got to get them off set. They're really close to hypothermia. Hazel, was out there fighting all day long. I mean, all day. The struggle that Frances goes through, is equivalent to what this young woman went through that day. And we could have shown you the white shot of it. We really could.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I mean, given that she's obviously has a traveling background, there wasn't much, I guess, choreography needed. I think for the more accurate punches, there was like some kind of like movement with the camera and with like just perfectionism. But in terms of like needing to know exactly how to fight, like she's done is like watched videos of Muhammad Ali on her TV screen that they have hooked up to the TV or hooked up to the car, even the engine. So like it wasn't exactly a glamorous way for her to start out her boxing career. But I think I had maybe a fortnight with a personal trainer who was also a former European boxer. She was amazing, and I worked with her like an hour a day every day, and just kind of got to grips with the like actually how intense the sport was, and even the skipping and everything. Like it's just so important, and you don't even realize this. But yeah, it was it was great.
Actually, again, the first day you worked with Clara, the boxer, she said to me, she could be a champion fighter. She could. She said she's got it.
We have time for one more quick question before we have to clear the house. And I'm going to go to the lady over here in the middle.
Because he continues to inspire me. I think his struggle is not over. And I am so honoured to have his mantra over our film. It was going to be Katie Taylor early days. And then I thought, well, actually, I wanted to make a film that by going back to the past, we would conjure the future. And Muhammad Ali was so visionary. And yet I could go back to the past to him. So, and I just thought, well, let's because I think really the challenge is for us not to be divided. I think it's a beautiful thing that a 15-year-old Irish traveller girl and Muhammad Ali can literally go hand in hand, glove in glove, together. I think that's beautiful. That's how I'd like to see the future for human beings.
Wow. What a way to end this. It's been a true pleasure spending time with you guys, and we wish this film such great success. Ladies and gentlemen, Carmel, Hazel, Dara, Toma, Michael, and Martine for Float Like a Butterfly.
Sorry, one last thing. Sorry, Hazel is now going to be at 5:30. Hazel and Dara will be singing songs from the film on the festival stage. You know the stage there on, can you help us?
It's on John Street, just south of here, just one block south of here on John Street.
Yeah.
5:30?
At 5:30.
5:30.
Thank you.